Hey, Dr. Karp here, and I'm going to make a video on how to make sauerkraut because people have asked me. I need some sauerkraut, so let's get to it. You need a head of cabbage, and you need some salt, and you also need a mason jar, and that is it, folks. And what's amazing about it is that there is bacteria on here that will ferment your cabbage in 2 to 3 days, and you don't have to do anything. Nature takes its course. All you got to do is follow these simple instructions that I'm going to make. I'm going to make this super fast, and you're going to be amazed at how easy this is to have your own sauerkraut. So let's put the camera down and focus it here if we can. And so we're basically going to chop this up really fast, and I am going to be doing this as fast as I possibly can because it's just so easy. So I peeled off the top layer, the three top layers. I didn't wash it. Make sure you get an organic cabbage, because if you don't get an organic cabbage, you're going to be getting all kinds of pesticides and all kinds of other stuff that potentially could be in there. So what you want to do is get this organic, peel off the 3 or 4 layers, and I don't wash it. So let's chop it up as fast as we possibly can without hurting yourself. And you're gonna see that this is super easy. And you know, the funny thing about sauerkraut is that it's incredibly satisfying. You're getting a lot of fiber, and you're getting all kinds of things that are beneficial from the fermentation of the cabbage, which is always an added benefit. And you know what really is cool is you can use it in place of all kinds of food. In other words, it's a good filler with your food. It's, you know, it's like a, you know, if you were to, you can add it to almost everything, basically. That's really the cool thing about it. And you can have it as a snack as well. And again, when you make it yourself, there's something that happens. I don't know what it is, but when you're doing it yourself and you've made food yourself, there's something actually much more satisfying about it. And, you know, this is going to be probably too much cabbage for this one mason jar, but you want to get it cut fairly good, and I'm doing this really fast. So we're going to take this and we're going to put it in here, and whatever I don't finish, I can add it to a stew or something like that. So let's put this here, and you can see there's a lot in here. Now, we want to get some of the fluid out of here. So the way we do that is we sprinkle salt on it. And when you sprinkle salt on it, what you get is a osmotic gradient. What's happening is the salt pulls out the fluid inside of the sauerkraut. And when that happens, you're going to be able to get like cabbage juice, essentially, being pulled out, and you really just need to sprinkle it on there. And then you're going to get in there and, you know, get everyone involved, you know, get your kids involved, and you're just going to squeeze this for a good amount of time. It's really, make sure your hands are super clean, of course, and just keep on doing this as long as you can until it starts to drip. You can see that my hands are already starting to get wet. Just keep on doing it. It's a good workout for your hands. You can also get a kraut hammer, which is basically where you can just get in here and really crush things. But I think that you should really just get used to working with your food with your hands. So before you do this, you want to wash your hands for a good 15 to 30 seconds, because we're basically doing this to release the fluid, but you don't, and you're getting fermentation happening, so you want to make sure that your hands are super clean. And you'll see how, again, this is starting to get very wet. My forearms are starting to get sore, so you're getting a forearm workout at the same time. Something about working with your food, you know, you can try it It's not that salty. You can taste the salt, but it's not that salty. And the reason you do the salt is to pull out the fluid, but also it acts to keep the some extra bad bacteria from growing. And the issue with sauerkraut and worrying about, something going wrong, or, if it's really bad, you're going to tell that it's bad. I've done it, many, many times, and I've never had a situation where it went bad. I usually leave it for around 3 days, and you'll see that when you put it in, again, now we're really getting dripping, because you're going to need to have a layer of water that protects and allows the fermentation to happen, because it's what's called anaerobic fermentation, which means without oxygen. So you don't want oxygen touching this when it's in the mason jar. You're going to want it to be under a layer of water. And again, I have these things that I use to keep it underwater, but I want to show you how to do this without having to buy those, just sort of the way I started using it. This is one big piece. I think you can see how wet this is getting. Of course, my hands are completely wet. Okay, so when you can take this and squeeze it and see dripping, like now, you're ready to take the mason jar, a clean mason jar, and start putting it in there. Again, I'm making a mess because I'm trying to do this fast. And what you want to do is you really want to compact it down. Really want to get all the air out, because you really want to get all the air out, because again, this is what's called anaerobic fermentation with no oxygen, so no air. And so just push it in there with your fingers. It's good to use a large mouth mason jar. Really press it in there. Good. Again, you can also use a kraut hammer. You can see that the water is starting to build a little bit as I keep pressing it. And you're going to get some expansion of this as the fermentation takes place. So you don't need to have it. You don't want a whole lot of air at the top, but you don't want to fill it all the way to the top, because it will expand as it ferments a little bit, and you'll start to see bubbling as the fermentation takes place. And then we're going to put the jar on. As I said, you don't want a lot of air in there, because that's going to affect the fermentation, but there's a lot of water on top. It's going to expand and cover it up. And now, essentially, all you have to do is wait. So I'll make another video tomorrow night, and you'll see that there's going to be some bubbling going on, and you don't want to open it. You're basically going to be opening it once a day, letting the gas out, closing it, and pushing down to make sure there's that layer. And essentially that's it. And then after 3 days or so, but I'll show you that progress as time goes. You can see that was pretty darn quick, and look forward to sharing more of this tomorrow. Okay, so it's been a day, and you'll see there's some space inside. if you look, there's like here, and there's also, you can see at the top, some liquid. And when we open this, you're going to hear a little pop. I don't know if you heard that. And inside, you're going to see a lot of water. And we're going to take this and we're going to press down. I'm going to use this side. And you'll see some bubbles actually coming out. And that's that's some carbon dioxide that's starting to form. Just going to press it down because again, you want the liquid, the water, that is here to be covering any kind of solid, because the fermentation is happening underneath the water because it's, as I said, an anaerobic fermentation, meaning there's no oxygen, and the water prevents the oxygen from getting down there so that the fermentation can take place. So if you look in here, you'll see that it's packed down, mostly water at the top. And just press this down a little bit more. And a lot of this is there's more water in it than before because the salt is going to pull out a little bit more of the fluid from the actual cabbage. And you know, the cabbage itself was around $2.25 at Whole Foods. And if you were to buy sauerkraut this much, it would easily be $20. And you'll see how tasty it is. And at the top here, this, you know, when you press down on the mason jar, when it fills with gas, you can actually feel that this is more difficult to press down from day to day. So we'll see you tomorrow. Day number 2, and there's definitely, I can feel there's a lot of pressure in here. You can probably hear that puff. Some people call that burping it. And if you can see over here, there's a lot of bubbling going on. And with that bubbling it's carbon dioxide from lactic acid producing bacteria. And as I said, this is anaerobic, meaning no oxygen. And at this point, really all you have to do is do the same thing again. Just press it down. You'll see all the bubbles coming up. A lot more bubbles than yesterday, as you can see. And you can let it go as many days as you want within reason, and you'll get a different type of texture. I usually let it go one more day because I don't like it when it gets soft. I still like it when it's crunchy, a little bit crunchy. And all you would have to do is seal it and do the same thing again. I wanted to show you something that is pretty cool, and it's from a company called Mason Tops, and it's basically a glass that you put right on top. Whoops. And that keeps the everything underneath. And then this basically seals the top. And what's interesting is on the top, there's a little thing that once the gas builds up, it actually allows the gas to come out. So I can leave this on there, and as you can see, if you look, there's that clear area, which is the glass, and then it's keeping the cabbage underneath. So it's keeping pressure on there, it's keeping everything down, but it's also allowing it so that there's no oxygen that's getting to the actual sauerkraut. It's going to let gas come out through the top. There's a little thing here, and when you press on it, there's actually opening in there. So that's it, my friends. It's so easy to do your own fermentation at home, and this is such a great snack because the complex of B vitamins and chemicals that are produced when fermentation takes place, they're actually incredibly satiating. They're satisfying. There's so many chemicals that are produced and amino acids and B vitamins that are produced that they create a sense of satisfaction in the food. And this makes the absolute perfect snack. And I'm smelling this a little bit and my mouth is watering. I'll probably let it go another day, maybe another day or two. And that's the process of fermentation. So I hope all of you give it a try. You don't need to buy this this thing. As I showed you, you just need to burp your mason jar every day, maybe sometimes twice a day if you feel like there's a lot of pressure in there. Keep all the cabbage underneath by pressing down, and you don't need to buy something like this. You could take sort of a flat end spoon or a soup or a ladle and just sort of press down in there, or even use your fingers, just clean fingers, just to press things down and keep everything underneath. That's really it. Now, after it's done, you put it in the refrigerator, and fermentation continues to take place, but just at a much slower rate. And you'll get different flavors as time goes by. But keep in mind, this is a natural process that people would do to preserve food through the winter time, so that they would have a source of natural food during the year. And this is a miracle of nature, really, to think about it, because the bacteria that are responsible for this already live on the leaves of the cabbage. I mean, how amazing is that? It's like this system that we're taking advantage of and that was put into nature. I mean, to me, that's a miraculous thing and a sign in some sense that this is something that we should be doing. And I hope that you'll do the same. And if you do, I'd love to see pictures of it. Please send them to me. And I wish all of you the best of luck trying this out. It's so easy. And it's sort of one of those things where oftentimes we're like, well, we're not the type of person to ferment our own vegetables. Or maybe there's a conception in our mind of the type of person that does fermentation. I don't know what the case may be, but all of you owe it to yourselves to give this a try at least once. It's something that our ancestors in the not too distant future did. Most of the condiments that we use, like even ketchup, was a traditionally fermented product. Now we have modern industrial techniques to do these things that are not alive, not fermented. So we need to get back to how our recent ancestors preserved food, because there are inherent benefits that we now know from modern science. So I look forward to a discussion about this, and I look forward to seeing your own experiments. All you need is a $1 mason jar. Sometimes you can get them even cheaper. $2 cabbage. Almost the whole cabbage went in here. And that's really it. And some salt. It's simple, it's easy, and I really urge all of you to do it. I'll see you next time.